How can it be that a once proud rugby nation are coming off the back of a 2024 season that one could only describe as catastrophic? Yes, the same Welsh Rugby side who only 5 years ago finished fourth in the Rugby World Cup. Yes, the same rugby side that won 2 Six Nations crowns in the last 5 years. So where oh where has it gone so horribly wrong? If you weren't paying attention to international rugby in 2024, let us remind you for a second just how disastrous the once well-oiled Welshmen have been. In a season where they ran out on 11 occasions, Wales managed to win not even one of those test matches. They now have the unenviable record of having lost all 11 test matches in a single season. But where exactly does this fall from grace come from, and how has it suddenly spiralled out of control? Well, that's exactly what we'll be looking at today, and so much more as we pull back the curtain and take a deep dive into what's going on with Welsh Rugby. But before we do that, we ask that you like the video, subscribe to our channel and comment your thoughts down below. With that being said, now it's time to get back to the men in red. To illustrate how drastic this drop in form has been, let's first take a look at where the Welsh side were in the past few years. Warren Gatland has been the long-standing head coach of the national side and has seen his fair share of success with his Chargers. The Welsh side of the 2010s formed the core of the 2013 and 2017 British and Irish Lions tours that were also spearheaded by Gatland. The 2013 tour was a resounding success down under against the Wallabies, and 4 years later the Lions would share the spoils with the All Blacks in the land of the long white cloud. The success of these tours was largely thanks to the Welsh influence on the team. Other than Gatland, both tours were led by Welsh captain Sam Warburton. The stars of the tours again were players from Gatland's ranks such as Lee Halfpenny, Alan Wynne-Jones and George North. Back with the Welsh national side, they took home the 2012, 2013, 2019 and 2021 Six Nations titles. And yet here we are, after the 2024 season, telling a completely different story of the once roaring Red Dragons. So what exactly is causing this decline? Well, problems tend to usually start at the top, and that is where many problems have arisen. Amongst Welsh Rugby's top brass have been growing concerns surrounding the hiring and firing of members in leadership positions. Quite recently, WRU executive Nigel Walker has stepped down from his role after being appointed in 2023. Walker's time in the hot seat and that of his predecessor has not been without its hurdles. In the last few years, Welsh Rugby was hit with allegations of sexism, misogyny, racism and homophobia following a BBC Wales investigation. Amongst the new appointments have also been Chief Executive Abby Tierney. She promised that there would be a new strategy implemented in 2024. This appears to have been an outright flop, as Tierney and Chairman Richard Collier-Keywood's plans have fallen flat. When it comes to the coaching staff, Gatland remains in his role despite not leading his team to a single win all season. Now, Gatland's credentials as head coach and his track record with Wales is unquestionable. Sure, he hasn't been successful in every season of his coaching career, but for the most part, Gatland's sides have known how to win. This doesn't seem to be the case currently though. But is that all the New Zealanders' fault? Well, it seemed that Gatland was done with Welsh Rugby, having led them for over a decade. With results not going their way, the WRU asked him to return. While he stabilised matters for the World Cup, it has been turbulent sailing ever since the tournament ended. While Gatland certainly has the know-how and is used to the Welsh Rugby setup, bringing him back was an attempt at a short-term fix to a much larger problem. Do you think Warren Gatland should have been recalled as head coach? Let us know in the comments down below. If the results for the Welshmen weren't bad enough this year, then stadium attendance will certainly add insult to injury. Growing dissatisfaction with their team's performances has led to numbers dropping further and further. Boos and fans leaving the stadium early are just the tip of the iceberg. Where the Principality Stadium, formerly known as the Millennium Stadium, was hosting close to 70,000 fans per home fixture 2 years ago, numbers have dwindled by over 15%. With the way the team is performing, this doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon. It's safe to say that Welsh Rugby finds themselves in a transitional period in terms of the players in their squad. This isn't an uncommon occurrence in the sporting world as generations of players bow out and the new ones come in. In fact, we've seen this happen to many sides, but what we haven't seen is such a sudden decline. Wales now find themselves wallowing down in 11th place on the World Rugby rankings with an entirely new group of internationals. In the past few years, Wales has had to bid farewell to their golden generation, which included many supremely talented stars across the park. With that core group, they seemed covered in almost every position with star quality. But that is no longer the case. Players such as Alan Wynne-Jones, Sam Warburton, Toby Faletau, Dan Biggar, George North, Jonathan Davis and Lee Halfpenny are no longer around to carry the hopes of their nation. One would hope then that new talent would be coming through the ranks to replace the senior statesmen. One shining light amongst Welsh rugby when it comes to young talent was the rapid Lewis Rhys-Sammet. He seemed a future star and a player Wales could build their team around. However, even he has left the fold. Rhys-Sammet has instead decided to try his hand at American football, and only time will tell whether that gamble pays off or not. One thing is for sure, Welsh rugby is in a worse place without his presence out wide. It seems evident then that Welsh rugby faces a torrid time ahead, one which will certainly come with its ups and downs as they try to rekindle the form they once showed. The problems they face seem to be a combination of multiple factors, and they're all causing a negative effect on the WRU as a whole. The solution to all of this? Well, we'll leave that to you to tell us down below. Welsh rugby is at an all-time low, and now you can have your say and give us your thoughts on how to fix it all. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and keep an eye out for plenty more content like this. Until next time, bye for now.